Most of you guys watching already know the situation that unfolded last year, but for those of you that don't, I'll explain. Bud Light is a corporation that produces arguably the worst tasting beer on the market. This is of course according to people who have already wasted their money to try it out for themselves. But nonetheless, this very company went and sponsored a proponent of the left, someone that pushes a dangerous ideology on millions of people every day, and that would be Mr. Dylan Mulvaney. He's a guy that dresses like a woman and gets mad at people for calling him what he is, a man. He doesn't just suffer from this gender dysphoria alone. He tells people that they too should do the same. He countlessly leaves out all of the negatives about quote-unquote transitioning and reveals it all to be cupcakes, fairies, and rainbows. But that's not all Bud Light did. They endorsed this very ideology by giving Dylan this money. They too turned into a company forcing the woke talking points on you, the consumer. By doing this, they made a statement. And they chose a side. They chose wrong. Very wrong. They chose the side of self-mutilation and indoctrination by proxy from a young age. They chose this over you, the customer. Think about that for a second. Instead of just selling shitty beer, they chose to indoctrinate kids, but not only kids, adults that don't know better and suffer from a mental disorder. According to the DSM-5, this ideology is solely responsible for making people so confused about themselves and their true identity that they don't know who they are anymore and they just kill themselves. That's the side that Bud Light took, and in response, conservatives fought back. For the first time in a lifetime, conservatives orchestrated a successful boycott, and it actually worked. The result of this was costing Bud Light millions of dollars, and for good reason. Bud Light ruined the public perception of their own beer forever. The average Bud Light drinker didn't do that. They did this to themselves. But now, a year later, people are calling for us to stop the boycott and stop making this giant foreign company lose money. Why is that, you'll ask? Well, I'll tell you. It's because Bud Light replaced this one person in the marketing department, this one person that they blamed for this whole entire situation. They think that we're stupid, but to put a cherry on top, instead of them just apologizing and staying out of politics, they instead sponsored a few people on the right with millions of dollars. People like Deanna White and UFC. This was in another attempt to win back our support. But if there's one thing I learned, it's money can't buy forgiveness. Money can't buy back the people that killed themselves because of this very ideology. Most importantly, money can't buy my support. I'm not 21, but I will be soon. And at this rate, I will never touch an ounce of your shitty beer ever, Bud Light. You know what? While I mention it, I will never touch an ounce of any liquor if this is the direction alcohol companies want to go. So make your choice. Would you rather support the company that hates you, or would you rather support a company that actually agrees with your ideology? Don't give your money to companies that don't even want to associate with you. Watch what Bud Light called you, the drinker.
I mean, Bud Light had been kind of a brand of bratty, kind of out of touch humor, and it was really important that we had another approach.
Yeah, that's right. They don't even want to be associated with frat boys, but that's their biggest audience. They don't want your business, but others do. Companies that actually hold your values and not just try to buy your forgiveness. Bud Light is not sorry. They didn't apologize. They didn't help detransitioners that got indoctrinated by this very ideology they themselves are pushing, and they sure as hell don't care about America. They only care about money, and it's showing.